How's it going? Dave from Comic Book Investments. So, got some stuff back from CGC that I thought I would show you. Some pretty good stuff, some rare stuff as well. But yeah, this is some of the stuff I got back. All of it, of course, is on my website, collectorscomics.com, in case you're wondering. And it's up there pretty much now. You can look at it. And then I usually list this stuff on eBay over the weekend. So, first come, first serve. Go on the website if you want it. Also, another interesting thing about our website we just put on there, we're constantly trying to improve it, constantly. But one thing I wanted on there that we push forward, now there's grader notes on every single book. Yes, so if you can sign to our auction, which we have 0% fees, 100% free for you, it has grader notes on all the books. So anytime you're looking to buy a book or something like that, under the little CGC serial number on our website inside the listing, they'll have a little link you can click and it'll take you straight to the grader notes. So every single book on there will have free grader notes from CGC's website, so you can check out and know what's going on with the book before you buy it. If you decide to buy it, maybe you want to know, boom, easy link for there. Our mission on our website is to make everything as easy and as streamlined as possible, and also have as much information as possible. That's why we're hooking up with the GPA, so all of our sales numbers will be on there, so it gives you guys a better opportunity of what's going on in the market. All right, let's do the first one. First one, a Spider-Man number 4. Let's see. Came back great, I was hoping for. 1429. Oh, it's crammed in here with all this stuff. All right, next we got is a Spider-Man 50. Yes, first Kingpin. I thought it would be a 7.5, but it came back 7.0, 17.99. Now this is the UK variant. Now a lot of people will tell me, and probably you've heard this before, that the UK variant is much rarer. Yes, it is technically rarer because it was a smaller print run that went to the UK and had the different price on it. Because obviously the market for the US was much higher. But that being said, supply and demand. Just because something is super rare does not mean there's a lot of demand for it. And it could be pretty much worthless, right? Take any of those VVs, They might have a very small print run, but no one really cares about those NFTs anymore. Pretty much those are all gone. That whole hype train is dead, and I don't think it's really ever going to come back. It might come back in a very small way, but not anything special. Yeah, pretty much NFTs is just... It's going to be a funny footnote in the history books, for sure. But nonetheless, this one's up for $17.99. UK variants are just not as desired. Maybe if you have a UK variant there's something special about it, like it's the highest grade of a UK variant. Normally what I see is UK variants sell for slightly less than their counterpart. So if this was a CGC 7.0 US version, not the UK version, the US version will sell for a little bit more than the UK version. That's what I normally see. Now, that is different for some reason. I don't understand it, but when it comes to Canadian price variants, the Canadian price variants sell for a premium. Don't know why. Also, sometimes you'll get an Australian variant that sells for a premium, an Australian price variant. So something on like a New Mutants 98 or something like that, just because those are extremely rare, I guess. That's why they sell for a huge premium, actually. If you have an Australian variant of, say, New Mutants 98, it'll probably be 3 times to 2 times what the American version is worth. That just comes probably because they are really, really, really rare. But yeah. And I'm not talking the Australian version. There's a difference. There's a price variant, and then there's an Australian version. So just one of those things. Lots of information out there. I don't have time to tell you every little piece about this on this one episode. Next, we got Spider-Man 238. This is the newsstand variant. Came back great. I was hoping for $7.49. Now, newsstands don't usually command that much more until you get into the top grade. So 9/8, generally speaking, you're going to be about 2-3 times what a normal 9/8 direct version is, depending on the year. There's a huge different thing with newsstands and the year that they came out. But generally speaking, newsstands tend to get ruined more because they're on the newsstand, they're not direct to the consumer, and they get bent and stuff, so it's hard to get a higher grade. Once you get to a 9.6, it's a little bit more, and a 9.4 is slightly more than the counterpart. of the direct version. Frankie, get out here. My dog. All right, next we got Avengers number 3. Came back gray as home for $21.99. Then we got Avengers 8, first appearance of Kang the Conqueror. I thought it'd be 6.5, got 5.5, so not good. $12.99. Then we got Black Knight. This book will, I always remember this book because I had this book as a kid. I didn't think anything of it. And I recently got it graded like maybe a year ago. And it came back 9.2. A book that I had from when I was a kid. I thought it'd be 8.5, got an 8.0, $5.89. Bloodstone number 1. First Elsa Bloodstone. I watched the, I don't know, Werewolf by Night special thingy, whatever it's called. It wasn't that bad. $4.59. This book has dropped a lot. Conan number 1. First appearance of Conan. First appearance of Conan in Marvel Comics. Conan actually appeared, I want to say like the 1910s or something like that. He's a very old character. Thought it'd be 8.0, got a 9.0, $8.29. You okay over there, Spider-Man? This thing's made of foam, so, I mean, I'm surprised it lasted this long. I mean, his arm is broken. He's gone through many, many moves, many, many different hands. He was a standee at the Blockbuster video store. So, all right, we got whatever this is. Fantastic Four, number 6. Thought it'd be 4.0, got a 3.0, $10.59. In case you're wondering what the other number is, other than the grade, that's the price. Here we go. Fantastic Four 48. Even comes with that little cool little logo thing. $3,059. Hulk number 5. No, 4.0. Thought it'd be 4.5. $10.99. We got Iron Man number 1. Big premiere issue. Oh, there's like a little stain there. Oh, didn't notice that before. I didn't really pay attention. That'd be 6.5, got 6.0, probably because that little stain that I didn't notice. $8.79. And we got this book right here, super, super rare. And in this grade too, I think it's like the 3rd highest grade. Little Archie number 1. $44,599. Yes, that is not a typo. That book, I believe, to have sold recently on Heritage for about this price. Not in this, I think a 7.0 actually sold, and then like a 6.0 sold for like $3,500 or something like that. So this is a quite rare book, very expensive. This one is interesting. This is a Marvel feature number 1, first appearance of the Defenders. But you look at this and it just looks normal. It's like a 9.4. Came back, the grade I was hoping for, $14.99. But something you won't be able to tell in this, but so when they make a cover, they usually put like this gloss sheen over it. So all covers are going to have like this gloss sheen, especially, you know, Marvels and stuff around this time. A lot of times people will restore them by re-glossing them. Yes, it's very weird, but they do that. They put another piece of gloss over it to make it shine more. It's a terrible idea. Don't do it. But people do it. And they give it an extra. This book right here, you won't be able to tell. CGC didn't note it. And there's really nothing I can do to have them note it. I was hoping they would give it like an error cover, but it has no gloss on it. But I'm sure the people at CGC had no idea and didn't even know. You can really tell because when you pick up a book, you know how it feels different from the inside pages? The inside pages feel like newspaper, and then the cover feels like thicker, and it feels this like, has like a gloss on it. Well, this cover is gonna feel like newspaper. It's gonna feel just very flimsy and weak and stuff like that. But they didn't note it. You cannot degloss a cover. You can only regloss a cover. So it's not like someone came and deglossed it. So And buy that book, just let you know, that's what's going to happen with it. It's going to have no gloss on the cover, which I think is cool, but that it wasn't noted. I don't know what to do with it. I could probably send it in back with a note, but I doubt they'll even care. Camera grades home for $5.59. I have 2 of these. So, first, Ghost Rider. Great book. Always hard to get in a high grade because of the black cover. I don't think I've ever had, I might have had like a 9.0 of this book, but I've never had anything higher. That'd be a 3.5, got 4.0. $11.99. Here we go, got an old Golden Age book. Prize Comics 16. I like looking at these old books. Who's the artist? Jack Binder. Not really sure. Anyways, who makes this book? Prize publication, Prize Comics. I don't know how many books they made. They probably only had a couple different titles. Yeah, during the Golden Age, there was, comics started out as just reprinted funnies. So if you were a cartoonist and you drew the funnies for the newspaper, so, like Peanuts and whatever funnies they had, Addams Family was a funnies, like those, and you got syndication, those newspapers, unlike today where who gets a newspaper, they probably sell like 10 copies. Unlike back in the day, everyone got the newspaper. That's what people did. They get the newspaper. So millions and millions of people read your newspaper. And if you got syndication for your comic strip, you were huge. You were a star. You were you made a ton of money. I don't know all the comic strips back in the day, but I'm sure like Mutt and Jeff or something was like one of them. But that's what they were. So comic books, then what they did is they just took the funnies and they kind of reprinted them and they put them in like a book. And that was kind of like the first kind of comic books. So you got like, more fun comics. Yeah, but that's why all of them were kind of like more fun comics. There's Famous Funnies, that was one of the first comic books considered actual standard American comic book. Things like that. I think it was Famous Funnies, Carnival on Parade or something like that. Anyway, so that was the first comic book, and then they started branching out and doing their own original stories in the comic books because they sold so well. And then came the superheroes, and that started with obviously Action Number 1, first true superhero, Superman, and then that just went gangbusters. So during that time, it was kind of like any business now. Like someone starts something, it becomes huge, then everyone starts getting in on it. Timely Comics, which is now Marvel Comics, they existed before the superhero stuff, but they rebranded themselves. So a lot of times these companies would make old pulp books, and they'd be like thicker and have some drawings in it, more words, things like that. Conan's from there, Buck Rogers, stuff like that. Buck Rogers, I think, was a funnies at first, and then later, funnies doesn't have to be comical, it could be sci-fi. Little Nemo, stuff like that. Those were funnies, which were more sci-fi driven. And because that was really the only medium for comics, like characters and stories and stuff like that. So during that time, the golden age of superheroes, there's a lot of different companies trying their hand to get in on it. So there's a lot of these random publications that didn't last very long because either the art is, the cover's okay. It's not bad, like for its time. I mean, it's not the best, but a lot of times these earlier golden age random publications like Prize Comics, their stories were very dull and they'd just be copied. They weren't original. They'd be copies of other things, like just straight up copies of someone else. And so they never really took off. Fawcett Comics was probably one of the ones that took off probably the best of the, I guess, independent comic book publications, but then they got sued by DC and then they had to shut down. But Shazam was actually, or he's called Captain Marvel at the time, was actually pretty unique. He was a unique character. But a lot of these other superheroes, no vision at all. The artists and creators, no vision whatsoever. And they're very just rip-offs of other ones. And they didn't really think, I don't know. That's why some of them just fell away. Honestly, it's like the Green Llama. I always bring him up. I have no idea what his powers are, but the Green Llama actually existed Before he was in one of those pulps, he was like a detective thing, but I think later he ended up getting superpowers and becoming more of like a superhero in the comic books, but couldn't tell you anything about him. All I know is he has a terrible name, and his costume is terrible, and everything about him is terrible. There was a cool cover where he has this giant swastika, like made of rock, that he's like throwing, and I think he's standing on top of the world or something like that. That's a cool cover. Well done art for the Golden Age time. Anyways, I rambled, ranted. I don't know. Rambled and ranted. I thought it'd be 2.5, came back 3.0, $14.99. So these books are extremely rare. Probably only a handful exist in the world. And I have one. Here's a book that is not rare at all. This is Barbie, #1. Oh, good old Barbie. Barbie actually, I'm pulling this off the top of my head, with a 51, 52, or 53, I think was the first Barbie, one of those like early 50s. I'm trying to remember. I want to say 53, but it could have been earlier than that. You can actually, no, that's not the Barbie on there. Anyways, they came out with a Barbie trailer with Margot Robbie, who plays Harley Quinn. As long as they play that Barbie song from Aqua in the movie, if they don't, that's a fail on the movie itself. I'm sure Sarah's going to want to go watch it, so I'll probably see it. But they better play that song in there. They better. And I have a feeling it's going to be how movies are in 2022. I'll just put it that way. Nonetheless, Barbie #1, $1.99. So we'll see. I'm sure I'll watch it. I hope it's good. As long as it just has that Aqua song, I'm a Barbie girl. That's what I want in there. If they don't have it, it's like, what was that movie? What movie was that? Justice League and Man of Steel. They don't have the freaking Superman theme song. And, we're above that. I want to come up with my own theme song. No, you don't. The theme song for Superman already exists, and you just play it. It's the same as Star Wars. The theme song exists. You can come up with a new song, all you want. Jurassic Park theme song. Yeah, that one. You have to play that in every single Jurassic Park one. You have to. That is the theme song. I don't care if you do a different rendition of it. I don't care however you do it, but that song has to come on. That is the song. And so when they came out with Man of Steel and they didn't have the song, and they were like, we want to make our own song. What is wrong with you? Stop that. That is stupid. This dumb. If you have a Turtles anything, you have to have their theme song in there. I don't care where it is. Put it somewhere hidden. It's just in the background, do a different, like a whole score of it, orchestra thing. Yes, you have that theme song. I'm sorry, that's what it is. It's the theme song. What was it? I was watching something. Wasn't it the Spider-Man movie? And no, that's what it was. Doctor Strange 2. This is how you do it. So when Professor X comes out and he's part of the Illuminati, they did the X-Men 90s theme song. Very quietly in the background, you could hear it. Watch it again if you didn't notice it, but they do it. It was just like that. It was just like a handful of notes. That's how it should be, somewhere in there. But that was perfect. If you want to give a nod to that. But Superman has a theme song, use it every time. So I'm glad that Zack Snyder's gone, because clearly he didn't understand the characters at all. The thing that pisses me off more than anything in the world, well, first of all, he clearly is a moron. He cast Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. And I'm like, oh my God. Terrible. Just the worst. And then Doomsday was just a fail. A complete fail. And then Lois Lane was just worthless. They're like, well, we want to give her lines and something to do. And so she throws away the staff with the kryptonite on it, and then, runs back to wherever she's going. And then she's like, oh crap, I have to go get it. And then jumps back into the little pond to get it. And then, all of a sudden this thing falls on me. I need to be saved. I'm like, this is a waste of my time. Why are you putting in that? You're creating fake drama that doesn't need to exist. She's a worthless character in the movie, not in general. In the movie, worthless character. But the thing that just takes the icing on the cake, oh my God. You could tell, man, I'm sorry. Zack Snyder, great visuals. Terrible story writing. Loved The Watchmen, but he took it literally panel for panel. So he didn't write it. Alan Moore did. I love the movie Watchmen. I could see how some people think it was a little too long and things like that, but I thought it was a great movie. Anyways, the reason why Batman and Superman fight each other is because they have different ideals, different moral, what they stand on, what they believe in is different, and eventually those paths cross and they come at odds because they are different people that view the world differently. That is great writing when you have people with different views, just like Thanos. I love the character Thanos in the MCU, the way he handled him, because he has a different perspective on how the world should work. It's not that he's necessarily an evil man, but he has a different perspective, and his perspective may be wrong to you, but to him, it's right. That's what makes a great villain, not just some whatever. So anyways, you have Batman and Superman, and Batman, I don't know, in this movie, probably like years, tracking down the kryptonite, all this kind of stuff, so he can get rid of Superman, because he's like, well, if there's a 1% chance that, he could be a villain or whatever the hell he said, I don't want to take that chance. Okay, fair enough. And then they go there, and he's about to kill him. So Batman, literally, I hate this guy. We need to kill him. Whole movie, just need to kill him. Comes out, he's about to stab him, and he's like, and he says, Martha, why'd you say that name? It's my mom's name. Oh, it's my mom's name too. Oh, we're best friends. Now let's go fight this creature. Oh my God. The stupidest writing. Who are you surrounding yourself with, Zack Snyder, when you're writing that down, or whoever you had write that down, and then you read it aloud, and every other person in there was like, that's great, that's the best idea I've ever heard. That's a bunch of yes men. Hire me, I'll tell you that's crap, and to get rid of it. Anyways, Fantastic Four 55. I really did not like that movie. It made me mad. It's like, the new Star Wars, the Disney Star Wars. It just makes me mad when I watch it. It just makes me mad. 349, because you wait so long and you like these characters so much, only to find out that they crap all over them. The people don't even read the comic books, but yet they say they do. It's the same people that make a video game movie and they're like, oh, we played the video game for hours. I'm the writer for whatever TV show or movie they're making about a video game. And then you're like, this is nothing like the video game. And it's like, what video game did you play? Or are you lying to try to bond with the nerds? Stupid. New Mutants 98, 569. Ryan Reynolds. He knows how to play Deadpool. Did a great job. Christopher Reeves. Great Superman. 229. I do like Henry Cavill as Superman. I think he was given a bad script and a bad director. Terrible. Okay, he's not bad in the sense he can't direct. He was a poor choice for the movie that he chose to do. I'm talking about Zack Snyder. He was whoever was the head of DC was a moron to give Zack Snyder the reins of the universe, the DC universe. Clearly, he must have had one conversation. It's I forget his name, but did you ever see that documentary on WeWork? I think it was the guy that made all this, basically a work from. He'd have a building, and then you could rent out workspace from it. They're all over the place. I forget what they're called. Anyways, a co-op, I think is what they're called. Anyways, the guy who made WeWork met with the guy who, what is his name? I'm forgetting his Jack Ma? No, that's the Alibaba guy. The guy, he's in charge of this fund that has something like a $50 billion fund. It's called the Dreamers Fund or something like that. And all these SoftBank and all this big, huge people put money into this fund. And this guy goes around and he invests in companies. He met the guy from WeWork for 25 minutes. It was a 25-minute meeting, and then gave him $4 billion. And then, I don't know, within 6 months, basically the company went to zero because it was all on a throne of lies. Idiot. That's probably the person that hired Zack Snyder to run the DCEU. Avengers 25. Love this cover. I thought it'd be 6-0, got 5-0. But I do love this cover. Makes Doctor Doom looks all huge. It's all perspective though. But It looks all nice and big and menacing. And then last on this thing, after all my rants, I know you guys enjoy the rants. So, Green Lantern 40. What is it? The Crisis Begins. So this is kind of like, well, the first Earth 2 was Flash number 123. That first introduced the fact that there is another Earth with the Golden Age characters. That's where they live. And I'm assuming, I don't know. I had this book as a kid. I couldn't tell you anything about it. Other than the fact that what I can tell you is this book, I thought it'd be 6.5. And I can tell you that it's $2.49. And I can tell you that I watched the new Green Lantern DC animated movie. I liked it. I was pleasantly surprised. I like how, like with these cartoons, they take more liberties. I like how they took different storylines and merged them into this. I feel like they took a chance and it kind of worked out. And so it was an Elseworld story. I don't want to spoil it too much, but it borrowed from, was it Emerald Knights? Borrowed from Emerald Knights. One thing I really didn't like is I cannot stand at all. I've ranted about this before. How a superhero will get superpowers or something bestowed upon him. That's awesome, right? No one is saying that the Green Lantern ring is a terrible thing. And he's like, I don't want this anymore. I need to get rid of it. Show me how to take it off my hand. I just don't want it. Why? I'll take the ring. That'll be it. Have a great day.